I'm Iranian, and I have spoken to friends and family in Iran, and there's jubilation. There's absolute jubilation. The Hezbollah, this man was one of the heads of Hezbollah. Prior to the Islamic Revolution in Iran, he was one of the thugs who came and murdered people
Hassan Nasrallah.
in Iran, and they blamed it on the king's army, which wasn't the case. So he's known to be part of those groups of thugs that killed innocent Iranian people. Over the last 44 years, Hezbollah thugs from Lebanon, Syria, Palestine, and all of those countries, on top of those thugs in Iran, they have brutalized the Iranian people. They have murdered, raped our people in such a way that's not even imaginable. It gives me huge amounts of pleasure and joy to see them suffer and essentially just enjoy the fruit of their labors one by one. And the fact that what is he called, this other thug, Khamenei, is currently hiding somewhere. Oh, that brings me joy. That brings me joy. 2 years ago, the women's rights life freedom movement was started in Iran. Those thugs from Hezbollah came to Iran with the Islamic Revolutionary Guards. They shot young people in their eyes. They blinded them. So when their pages went off and these people were blinded, this is poetic justice. I am grateful to Israel. I am grateful, eternally grateful to Israel for standing up for people of Iran, because nobody else is standing with us. And finally, somebody somewhere has some guts to stand up to these thugs. And yes, Iran is a rich country, and there is a lot of interest in maintaining the current regime because they're incredibly incompetent.
Okay, but Fanam, the targeting of Hezbollah senior leadership and commanders by Israel is going to do nothing to help Iranian women, is it? Come on, let's be honest.
But it gives me joy anyway. It has given everybody joy.
Well, it might give you joy, but
Fanam,
you might. Okay, Fanam, look, I don't understand that you might get joy from all sorts of things, but if your ultimate aim is to the liberation of Iranian women, I mean, this is not going to bring anything of that sort at all, is it?
This war has obviously been going on for the past year, and Hezbollah have been firing thousands and thousands of rockets into Israel for the past 11, 12 months. And now, all of a sudden, obviously, Israel are now retaliating to try and protect its citizens. And now all eyes are on Israel. Where have the eyes been for the last 12 months? Where has the criticism from the entire media and British public been on Hezbollah, who have been firing aimlessly thousands of rockets on innocent civilians in Israel? And all of a sudden now the question's pointed at Israel and not to Lebanon and to Hezbollah as to how are we going to resolve this. And I find it highly frustrating when, the previous caller who came on, who is meant to be, some expert, his biggest suggestion is reduce arms from USA and UK to Israel. And for me, what that suggests is what he wants Israel to do is just lay down and die and accept these rockets firing into Israel on a daily basis. And I find that notion highly frustrating because it's very obvious to me what he is suggesting. He's suggesting carry on Hezbollah, keep firing on Israel, keep killing its citizens, and Israel are not allowed to retaliate. And, I'm Jewish, I live in London, my husband's Israeli, I have a huge amount of family in Israel, and I can tell you now the amount of sympathy, not just for Israelis, but for innocent Palestinians, anyone innocent in this war who has had lives lost is huge. And we feel that burden, and we feel that for the entire innocent in the Middle East. But when all eyes are on Israel to cease fire, I find it so frustrating that these people are even allowed airtime. How is this war meant to be resolved when there's no pressure on terrorist supporters to lay down their arms? And we're talking about Hezbollah like there's some nice little village in the middle of the Mediterranean. These are ferocious terrorists, same as Hamas. And we cannot lump these people in with the innocent civilians. They are evil terrorists. And the threat of them is not just huge on Israel, but the rest of the West.
Arms should stop going to Israel. The thing is, we're arming them to the teeth. I mean, when I say we, I mean UK, the US especially, is arming them to the teeth. And then to the public, we're saying, yeah, we would like a ceasefire. That's ridiculous. That's a hypocrisy and double standard. It's absolutely appalling. The thing is, we're arming the people there I mean, Western. When you hear the ministers talk, when they're talking to the Western media, they talk in English. When they talk in Hebrew, you should hear what they say. I've listened to their media, and what is the defense minister as well as the education minister have stated, and I quote: "There is no difference between Hezbollah and Lebanon. We are going to annihilate Lebanon." This is their words, not mine. Like I said. Right. The thing is, they've already got this plan. That these plans have been there from before. Even on the Natasha Devon's show when it came on, I think a few days ago, she interviewed one lady from. Natasha was asking about the West Bank. She said, "What about the West Bank? There's no Hamas there, surely because illegal settlements." So that lady, obviously, they've been brainwashed. You can say, in effect, she said basically, look. God has given us that land. It is all ours.
Yeah, but that's about territorial expansion. That does not mean that Israel wants to take over Lebanon. The West Bank is about territorial expansion by Israeli settlers who aggressively want to acquire land. I mean, that's obvious.
They believe. Ali, with all due respect, they believe it is a God-given land.
But I'm not arguing with you, Abdul, on that point. I'm not arguing with you. So let's not talk at cross purposes. I'm accepting the fact that there are aggressive Israeli settlers that are enabled by the state to go into the West Bank because they believe it is their God-given right to do that. We're talking about Lebanon here, and your argument that Israel wants to invade and take over Lebanon has got absolutely no basis in fact whatsoever.
No, you may think it's no basis. The whole point of Hezbollah.
But they tried it before. It didn't end well, did it? They had to leave in 2000. The Israelis with their tail between their legs. It didn't exactly work out too well. Yeah,
but they already invaded in 1982. If you remember,
yes, I do.
They invaded. Yes, they invaded Lebanon, right, with the intention of taking over part of Lebanon or some of it or all of it, whichever it was. But the thing is, this is what created Hezbollah. Even in Gaza and the West Bank, in Gaza, should I say, when they invaded Gaza, this is what created Hamas. So when they carry out these incursions and this, for example, 2018, 2019, even when not too long ago, when remember the Great March of Return. The Israelis had snipers lined up along the perimeter fence. They took out people, innocent protesters. They were just there marching, having
So what should we be doing now, Abdul? Go on.
We should be pulling out completely from Israel, meaning that we should even in the UK. The problem we have,
but it's not going to happen. You heard the brigadier there saying that will be impossible to do, even if the West wanted to pull out and not provide Israel weapons. They are providing a lot of cyber and intelligence sharing and security to us and also to the US and Western allies.
The way forward is if the Arabs continue as they are in Sunni majority countries that are pro-peace, the Abraham Accord people show that they accept Israel wholeheartedly. They're not succumbing to stupid TikTok brainwash where you talk about Israelis and expansionist policy, which only, by the way, represents a fringe. This is the most extreme government in Israel's history.
It's not making it easier for a peace agreement, though, is it, Solomon?
It's not making it easier, but Ali, you know as well as I do that in Netanyahu's Bar-Ilan speech, he accepted a two-state solution. You know as well as I do that in Jared Kushner's documents and his proposal, which, by the way, I've read and downloaded and took me ages, Netanyahu agreed to a contiguous, connected Gaza West Bank. I hate Netanyahu. I hate the people he's allowed into the government. They don't speak for me either. But Palestinians and Arabs and Muslims especially need to wake up. They need to understand that there actually needs to be a variety of opinion.
I think
you can't just be, I'm not Hamas, I don't believe I should rape a woman, but I am against Israel in every other way.
I agree with you. And Solomon, there is no nuance in this debate, which is exactly why we are where we are. And until there is, we're not going to make any progress at all. At least that's something we can think about, can't we? Nuance in the discussion.